Okay. So I figured Dane did one of these. I might as well do one. There's gotta be a better way to do the camera. Maybe this way. I can get the camera or the book out of the frame. I don't know. We'll call that good. Dane's better at this than I am. Anyway, so I was gonna start from the beginning and kind of go, whoa. I haven't even started yet. Go over my thoughts and stuff. So this will probably be a long one too. But so originally, we'll just start with when I noticed that Cal was acting kind of weird and that I felt like I should take him in. I went to go give him a bath. And I was giving him a sick bath, because that's what I do for my kids when they don't feel good. You lay out towels, and they lay on the towels, and then you put a towel over them. It's like a blanket. And then you run water over them so they're warm and comforted. And he was just laying there. And he seemed comfortable for a minute, and then he wanted to sit up. But he was so stoic and so, like, not himself. You could just tell he felt awful. I got him to play with the bubble that was caught in the towel. That was fun. And then all of a sudden he said, Mama. And he started crying, and for no reason. I didn't know why. I asked him if he wanted to get out, and he said, yeah. So I got him out, and I laid him down on the bed. And when I opened up his towel to put a diaper on, I noticed his stomach was just a little bit darker than the rest of his body. Like, if I hadn't been looking for something that was wrong, I probably wouldn't have noticed. I think it was the veining was being more apparent because his stomach was distended. Anyway, so I got a diaper on him and I got his clothes on. And I went down to Dane and I said, Dane, I think we need to take him in. And I explained what I saw, and he's like, okay, I feel good about that. So I found a hospital 15 minutes away. We took him in. And when we got there, there was no one at the emergency room check-in. And I actually had to flag someone down to find me a nurse so I could check in. And she's like, when she finally came, she goes, okay, what's going on? And I explained what happened and why we were there. And she goes, okay, let me call the doctor. And I said, okay. So she comes back, she goes, the doctor wanted to offer to have you go to the Instacare, the urgent care. I was like, why? She's like, because they'd run some tests and stuff, but yeah, she just wanted to see if you wanted to go there. And I said, what's the benefit of going there or over here? I'm here anyway. She goes, nothing. And I'm like, then let's just stay here. weirdo. She's like, oh, okay, we'll get him checked in and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So got him all checked in. And he just wanted to sit next to me. Didn't want to do anything. Didn't want to watch a show. Just wanted to be snugged and just sit there. Just weird. So they did all the scans. When they did the ultrasound tech said, his kidney's way down here. He goes, and I do see some free fluid. And he goes, I said, so does that mean blood? Like, is he bleeding? He goes, well, it's just free fluid right now, but we assume that it's blood, so we treat it as though it's blood. And so they decided to do the CT scan. And they're like, okay, there's bleeding from his liver. We need to life flight you to Primary Children's because they will have a better idea of how to take care of a 2-year-old. I said, okay, sounds good. And so while we were waiting for the helicopter, the resident comes in and says, my radiologist has been looking at his scans and he's not so sure that it's blood in there. He thinks it might be a mass. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, you're in some podunk Idaho town. I mean, I know doctors have to meet qualifications and stuff, but they also, ER doctors don't work on 2-year-olds all that often, especially they might work on like broken bones or something, but I said, okay, well, we're going to Primary Children's, we'll just wait. I'm like, I'm not gonna worry about it, we'll just wait until we get there and hear what they think. And so I didn't say anything to Dane because I didn't want to worry him if it wasn't that. So when we got to the hospital, when they took us down to the ER again, they're like running around, wrestling and bustling, and they're like treating it as though it's cancer. They're running around like it's common knowledge. And then they just leave. And we were there for a long time. Dane showed up and he goes, what are we waiting for? I'm like, I don't know. They took his vitals and then just left. So we talked to them and the oncologist came in, or the ER doctor, I guess, said we're going to admit him because he has a tumor and it needs to get taken care of. I always said, well, that's the point where I started to lose it, because I always have said that cancer's like the one thing I can't do. I can do pretty much anything else, but having my kid go through cancer, I mean, no one ever wants to do it, but I just didn't think I could handle it. And as Dane puts it, I started getting kind of hysterical. He said, you need to go home. And I was like, how can I go home? He needs me. And Cal had fallen asleep at that point. He goes, you know what, if you left, he'd probably be okay, but you need to go sleep. And I realized I was not okay. I was not going to be okay for a long time. got in the car and I just broke down. Just cried and cried and cried. Eventually, I stopped crying long enough I could drive. I got home and just went to sleep. I only slept for like 4 or 5 hours or something like that. And I came back to the hospital and it said, okay, here's what they all say, here's how it's going, and I'm pretty caught up now on the logistics of everything. That's the part where I talk about how I'm feeling. The first little bit, my brain wasn't functioning. It was kind of weird. People always talk about him in meditation, where they clear their minds and all that crap. And they let go of their thoughts. And I'm like, how in the crap do you just let go of your thoughts? Like, that's not a thing for me. I can't just clear my mind. That's essentially what happened. Like, I was processing it in the back of my head. It never went away. But like, the front half of my brain kind of just shut down and just kind of let me exist. And I think that's how I got through the first little bit. Like, I'd only, for the most part, they kept saying it was Wilms. I was like, okay. I kind of came to terms at some point with the fact that it was a very treatable cancer. It was fine. It's gonna be a crappy little bit, but he'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So the part that was upsetting me the most at that point was the relationship that Annie and Cal have, and how would this affect that relationship, because they're together all the time. They sleep in the same room. I mean, for the last 2 months, they've been sleeping in the same bed. So what does that mean for them and her and him? Like, the first couple days, that's all he wanted to see was Annie. And I found myself getting frustrated. And getting frustrated with her because she wasn't taking the time to talk to him when he wanted to talk to her, and because she wanted to go play with her cousins. Understandably, she was having fun, but I was getting irritated. I'm like, does she know? I mean, I know she doesn't know, but I know logically, I don't know. Anyway, and then I felt guilty because I was getting frustrated with her. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know her life flipped upside down. And then, once I spiraled down that tunnel, I started getting upset because shouldn't I have seen things? Like, shouldn't there have been symptoms? And thinking back, I mean, there were, but there were also symptoms that totally could have been passed as toddler. Like, his appetite decreased a ton, but that happens with toddlers. And he has this huge belly. I always thought it was just this cute, huge toddler belly. And he drank a lot of juice and complained that his stomach hurt. And I just passed it off as juice. And I was just drinking too much juice. And again, it's all toddler stuff. Logically, I know I couldn't have known. I know that. there's no reason for me to be upset about that. And I'm kind of past that point. Like, there's no way I could have known. So I'm not going to boo-hoo about it. The hardest part right now is the uncertainty. Like, the doctor seems super, it'll be fine, it'll be okay, and then they'll say something like, and I could have just heard this wrong, I'm not sure if it's true, but there's an 80% chance of survival rate. And they say that like that's such a good thing, and it is a great thing. But 20%, that's huge. I can't do that. I naturally tend to shy away from negative feelings. I don't like them. I run away, I try to distract myself. And so that's what I've been doing. I essentially have been doing everything in my power to not think about it, because there's literally nothing I can do to fix it. Billy, I need you to be quiet so I can talk. So, I don't remember where I was at. Today's been hard. Today was the first round of chemo. It's hard because they're putting all this crap in his little body. And it's supposed to help him, but then they say things like, we're giving him this drug because it kills the cancer, but then we have to give him this drug because the other one will also destroy his heart. And then we give him this one because it'll destroy the cancer, but then we give him this one because that one will destroy his bladder. And as much good as these drugs do to kill the cancer, they also kill everything else. So it's really hard for me to say, hey, go put all that crap in his body so that we can make him feel better. I feel like I'm just pouring poison into his veins. It sucks. And he's finally starting to feel a little better. I mean, I know what needs to happen. I know that. But it doesn't make it any easier. So, another part of this is that Amelia is 6 weeks old. She's gonna spend the first year of her life in a hospital. I'm gonna be so focused on him. I don't wanna not remember the first year of her life because I'm so focused on everything with him. One of the nurses said, hospitals are really boring. You're probably gonna be able to bond with her really well. It's like, yeah, but I just feel like she's been sleeping with us in the hospital. Every time she cries, I'm like, ugh. I don't want to go take care of her. Date's been helping out a lot, but it's still picture of her. It's probably a little bit of the postpartum depression shining through. Which I thought I had under control until all this crap hit. But I don't know. I just keep wishing I could hand her off. But then I feel guilty because I want to hand her off. Why should I want to hand her off? I've been doing okay up until now because there's nothing I can do. I can just make him comfortable, be happy, be there for him to be happy and stuff. So I've been okay. But putting the chemo in was really hard for me. It kind of opened the gates for a minute, I think. They'll probably close back up and I'll be fine for a little bit. Relatively fine. Shut everything down until I stub a toe, and then I'll cry for about 5 hours again. But I don't know. I don't know how to make this work. I don't know what to do. I don't have anything else to say, and I can't even bring it up because I don't feel up. I just feel down. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a good thing to document or whatever, so that maybe so I can watch it later. Or somebody else, I'm sure. I'll help somebody else out there and make them feel like they're not alone. Sucks. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave you feeling awful like I do. And that's fine. So, have a good day. We'll update you when we get like the roadmap and stuff like that on how everything's gonna go.